Hello, gorgeous souls. I hope you're having a beautiful day. And today I wanted to chat about taking care of your nervous system. And it's something to be very, very mindful of, specifically if you're going through burnout, absolutely for sure. But also as you're actually moving through and perhaps doing some deeper inner work for yourself or bringing new awarenesses through, things can be really re-triggering for our nervous system, and it's so important depending on where we're at. Obviously, at our lowest points of burnout, certainly I know for myself, I felt I had lost a lot of my resilience. I had lost a lot of my capacity to be able to deal with things or to be able to manage different stresses in my life, and I felt so depleted and so overwhelmed. So this is why I wanted to speak into this today, because when we're wanting to heal ourselves, often we can go gung-ho into things and be like, right, I've got to do this, I've got to do this, I've got to do this. And what it actually does is it's the old pattern of pushing, striving, needing to get better as soon as possible, needing to get back on track as soon as possible, because it can be pretty uncomfortable, obviously, sitting in burnout or experiencing burnout. And I absolutely know that firsthand, and I know how much I was wanting to move through that really quickly and just get over it and get on with life and all of those things. However, our body is in a loving pause, a huge stage of burnout for a particular reason, and it's so new awarenesses can come through. It's so that we can find a different way, a different mode of operating in the world that is actually much more sustainable for ourselves moving forward. And so it's really important to take care of the nervous system by not overwhelming it further or trying to push things too hard, because if you try and use your willpower like you have in the past, chances are that is actually going to jam on the freeze response even more. And what's actually going on, particularly with burnout, we've got the nervous system, which is in fight-flight mode. So it's feeling unsafe, it's feeling in survival mode, it's feeling like, oh, I can't stop, I've got to keep going, I can't rest, all of those things. And then we've also got that freeze response where the body's like, no, I'm done, I can't do anymore, I have to actually stop. And so sometimes the body will actually jam that freeze response on. And so when we're in burnout, we've got the accelerator on, which is that fight, flight, run, fight, get out of here, flee response, and then also that freeze response. Now, how are you going to know if you're in freeze response is if you feel blocked, if you feel paralyzed, if you feel stuck, if you feel frozen, if you feel that you can't move forward, or it's not easy to move forward, or you're feeling really resistant. That's when you know that your body is actually in the freeze response. And resting and being very gentle on your nervous system is one of the most important things. And as I mentioned, particularly when you're doing deeper inner work or you're looking at past traumas, very important to do it with somebody that is regulated and that has experience with this, that can really support you through that, but also in a way that you're not overwhelming and re-triggering your nervous system too much, where you can actually release and start to process some of the emotions and some of the experiences from the nervous system that have been locked in there for a long time perhaps. And as we do that, as we are kind and compassionate and gentle with ourselves and not try and force ourselves or push ourselves too hard, we create a greater space within. You'll start to experience spaciousness within, and you'll start to get some movement and flow. It's very difficult. One of the times when I was feeling very, very numb, I didn't actually realize I was actually in the freeze response. And when we're in the freeze response, it's very difficult to cry. So if you feel numb, you feel like you're not in touch with your feelings, or you just don't feel anything emotionally, it's because the body is in such a strong state of freeze. And so again, just doing things that are very gentle, nurturing to ourselves, one of the ways that we can really take amazing care of our nervous system and start to come out of that freeze response. In my 12-week Thrive program, I teach at a much deeper level how to actually move through and come out of that freeze response very quickly, literally within 20 to 30 minutes max. Just actually I've learnt even newer technique today that can be very, very helpful, particularly with high higher level trauma and things that can really jam up the nervous system or keep us in that perpetual anxiety / depression type feelings that can play out certainly with burnout as well. If you are in the dire straits of burnout, meaning you're in a really flat place, perhaps you've tried a few different things but nothing's working for you, or you're really feeling stuck or not knowing how to actually move forward or how you can really support yourself to overcome burnout, please reach out to me, send me a DM, and let's book in a time just to have a quick 15-minute chat. Understanding the root causes of burnout is so important. And I literally had a conversation with another lady earlier on this week that literally had been working with another wellbeing company, but she'd had 6 sessions. They weren't actually getting to the root cause of her childhood experiences, which had impacted her feeling overly responsible for everyone in her life, taking on more than she could possibly handle, and really understanding these things and having the tools and the strategies to overcome them is absolutely critical to healing burnout for good. Because otherwise we just heal the body and then we go straight back into those same cycles. You may have left the job, but you'll take up a new job and you'll be back into that same burnout pattern again. So important to heal burnout for good. So if you'd love to understand a little bit more about what those underlying causes could be for you personally, send me a DM, reach out, let's have a quick chat and see if and how I might be able to help you moving forward. Have an amazing day. Lots of love.